Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Nandi. In this video we are going to talk about the energy free response questions which you have got in the past paper. This problem we have got in the year 2009 free response questions. In an experiment, students are to calculate the spring constant K of a vertical spring in a small jumping toy that initially rests on a table when the spring in the toy is compressed at distance x. So here it is shown that its free length it is L0 and it is compressed at distance that is x. And the toy is released. The top of the toy rises to a height h above the point of the maximum compression. So here the height is given, that how much height it is got raised. The students repeat the experiment several times, measuring h with objects of various masses tapped to the toy top of the toy, so that the combined mass of the toy and the added object is m. So the combined mass is given, that is m. The bottom of the toy and the spring each have negligible mass compared to the top of the toy. So rest of the part of the spring, including this bottom part, we have to ignore the masses. Now we have to find out for the part A. Derive an expressions for the height h in terms of mxk and the other fundamental constant. So here there are two situations is given. First one is a compressed spring on table, and the second situation is given that released spring at the maximum height. So at these two position, let's say this is the first position and this is the second position. In between these two positions we can apply the conservation of energy when it is at the first position, and let's consider this is the reference position. So h should be 0. So at this position the spring will be having the compression, that means spring will be having the spring compression elastic potential energy in the spring, and since the object it got certain height at the position of 2 but it is in free length condition, so at the position 2 it will be only having the gravitational potential energy. So from the conservation of energy we can say that total energy at the point 1 that is equal to the total energy at the point 2. Now the total energy at the point 1 that we can say is the spring potential energy at the point 1, and at the point 2 the gravitational potential energy that is at the point 2. Now the spring potential energy at the point 1, the spring it got compressed by distance x. So here we can say that half into spring constant that is equal to k, half into k into x squared. Gravitational potential energy, the height it got shifted means raised, that is h, and the mass of the combined mass of the system it is given as m. Gravitational potential energy it is m into g into h. So from there we can say we have to express the height h in terms of the other variable. If we isolate the h, then we will be getting k x squared upon twice into m into g. Now with the spring compressed at distance x equal to 0.02 meter in each trial, which means x is given as 0.02 meter. In each trial the students obtain the following data for different values of m. So here this is the table is given where m and h is given in the part B. What quantities should be graphed so that the slope of a best fit straight line through the data points can be used to calculate the spring constant k. So here what we can do, we have to plot the graph in between two variables. What quantities should be plotted, so in between two variables, so that its gradient will be representing the spring constant. So we can say that x is constant in this equation because x is given that 0.02 meter, which means that h equal to its k into x squared upon 2g into 1 upon m. If we can plot the h along the y-axis and 1 by m along the x-axis, then just think about the equation of the straight line. The equation of the straight line, y equal to mx. where m is representing the slope or gradient. We can compare the equation of straight line y equal to mx with this derived equation, and from there we can say that h can be height can be plotted along the y-axis and 1 by m that can be plotted along the x-axis. Then the slope, it would be represented by k into x square upon 2g. So first we have to determine after plotting the graph we have to determine the slope, and after getting the value of the slope we can find out the value of k. So this is for the first part. In the second part, fill in one or both of the blank columns in the table with calculated values of your quantities. So in the x-axis it should be 1 by m. So instead of here in this column we can fill 1 by m, and in this column that h value is already there. So here the table 1 by m is filled by the data by taking the reciprocal of the masses. We have got these expressions. Now on the axis in the part C, on the axis below, plot your data and draw a best fit straight line, label the axis and indicate the scale. So here this 1 by m have to plot along the x-axis and h have to plot along the y-axis, and after that we have to find out the gradient. The slope we are getting, that is 0.0095, that is nearly equal to 0.01 we can consider. Now this 0.01 that is equal to the slope, that is kx square by 2g. So from there we can determine the value of k, that is twice into g times by 0.01 upon x square, and the x is given in the statement, that is 0.02. If you substitute all this, then you will be getting k equal to, it's 490 Newton per meter. So using this best fit line, calculate the numerical value of the spring constant that we have got from here. And in the last part E, describe a procedure for measuring the height h in the experiment given that the toy is only momentarily at that maximum height. So in this case we can use the we can do the videography. We can take the complete videography of the entire experiment, and then after that we can pause the diagram. I mean, we can instantaneously measure the time by the help of this from the videography, that what could be the maximum height or what could be the maximum height of the object, and from there by the help of the kinematics equations we can determine that what should be the maximum height in the experiment. This is questions we have got in the year 2008. Block A of mass 2 kg and the block B of mass 8 kg are connected as shown above by a spring of spring constant 80 Newton per meter and negligible mass. So here spring constant K, that is equal to 80 Newton per meter. The system is being pulled to the right across a horizontal frictionless coefficient of frictions, it is equal to 0, surface by a horizontal force of 4 Newton, which is shown in the diagram, with both blocks experiencing equal constant acceleration, which means both the blocks will be having the same acceleration a. We can determine the accelerations easily. That acceleration equal to that is the net force exerted on the systems upon the net mass, and the net force exerted on the system, that is 4 Newton, and the net mass, that is 2 kg block and the 8 kg block. So combinedly it is 2 plus 8. After solving this, we will be getting 0.4 by 10, 0.4 meter per second square. That's the combined accelerations of the system. Now in the first part A, we have to calculate the force that the spring exerts on the 2 kg block. So now the force, how much force will be exerted on the 2 kg block by the springs, so that we have to determine. So in that case we have to consider how much force is coming on the block, that is force exerted on the first block A, that is mass times by acceleration, and the mass of the block, that is 2 kg, acceleration it is 0.4, that means is 0.8 Newton. That is the amount of force exerted on the block by the spring, and due to which the spring is also going to be elongate. Now in the second part, calculate the extension of the spring, so due to which whenever that, let's say the spring is getting elongated by a distance x. So in that case, let's say this is xa. So in that case, that force exerted on the spring, that is k into xa, and we can determine the how much is the elongations, that is fa upon k. Fa, that is 0.8 upon k, that is 80. So we'll be getting it 0.01 meter. That's the elongations. Now the system is now pulled to the left as shown below, with the both blocks again experiencing equal constant acceleration. Is the magnitude of the acceleration greater than, less than, or same as before? In the part C. So this entire system is going to move along these directions with this acceleration a. Now the acceleration's magnitude, it is going to be same because of the net force exerted. We know that acceleration, it is equal to ratio of net force upon total mass. Net force exerted, that is 4 Newton, and the mass is also same. So from there we can say that net force, net acceleration, it will be remaining same. In the part D, is the amount the spring has stretched greater than, less than, or the same as before? So here now this spring is getting stretched. So how much will be the force exerted on the B block? The force exerted on the B block, that will be mass of the B block times by acceleration. Mass of the B block is 8 and the acceleration, that is 0.4. That means the force exerted, that is 3.2 Newton. And due to this force, this spring in the right hand side, it is getting elongated, and let's say the elongation, that is equal to xb. Now we can determine the elongations xb, that is the force exerted on the spring by the help of the B block upon the spring constant. So it's 3.2 upon spring constant, it is 80. So from there we are getting that will be 0.04. That's the elongation. So if we make the comparison, the elongations in second case we have got 0.04, in the previous case we have got 0.01. That means the amount of elongation or the amount of stretching of the string is going to increase. So it is greater than. And the last part E, in new situation, the blocks and the spring are moving together at a constant speed v 0.5 meter to the left. Block A then hits and sticks to a wall. Calculate the maximum compression of the spring. Now the block A, it is going to sticks to a wall. So in that case, the spring, the block B, still it is in motions with the same velocity v, that is 0.5 meter per second. And due to this, this spring will be start compressing, and after compressing its maximum length, let's say that is equal to x, the B block comes to rest. So here in between these two position, means once that collision has, means once the A block is getting strike with the wall, that positions of B we can consider 1, and the maximum compressed condition that we can consider as 2. So in between 1 and 2, if we can apply the conservation of energy, so according to conservation of energy, we can say the total energy at the point 1, that is equal to the total energy at the point 2. Now the total energy is consists of kinetic energy and spring potential energy. So at the first position there is no compressions on the spring, so here we will be saying that kinetic energy at the position 1, that is equal to spring potential energy at the position of 2, since the object second block also comes to rest at the position 2, so there will be velocity would be 0, kinetic energy it would be 0. Now from there we can say kinetic energy of the B block, that is half into mass of the B block times by velocity square, that is equal to half into k into x square. So this x value we can determine from here, that is equal to mb upon k square root of that into v. Mass of the B block, that is 8 kg, k spring constant which is given as 80, and the velocity in the statement is given as 0.5 meter per second. So finally you'll be getting 0.158 meter. So that's the maximum compression of the spring. These free response questions we have got in the year of 2006. So in this problem it's given that an ideal spring of unstretched length 0.2 meter is placed horizontally on a frictionless table as shown above. One end of the spring is fixed and the other end is attached to a block of 8 kg. So here it is given, this is the 8 kg block which is attached with a string. Unstretched length of the string is given as 0.2 meter and the mass of the block is given as 8 kg. Now the 8 kg block is also attached to a massless string. So this one is representing the string which is also connected, massless string that passes over a small frictionless pulley, and a block of mass 4 kg hangs from the other end of the string. This is a 4 kg mass which is attached with the string. When the spring and the block system is in equilibrium, the length of the spring is 0.25 meter. The free length is given 0.2 meter and the in equilibrium condition the spring length is given as 0.25 meter. That means the elongation of the spring, that is 0.25 minus 0.2, that's a 0.05 meter. That's representing the elongation of the spring, and the 4 kg block is 0.7 meter above the floor. So in the first one, A, on the figure below, draw the free body diagram showing and labeling the forces on each block when the system is in equilibrium. So first the 8 kg block. For the 8 kg block, the gravitational force it exerts in downward directions, that is mg. Since as it is resting on the table, so there will be the normal reaction force offered by the table on the object, Fn, and the right side it is connected with the string, so there will be a tension, and the left hand side it is attached with a spring, so on the spring there will be a restoring force, that would be Fs, which is exerted to the left hand side. And for the 4 kg block, for the small m, that is equal to 4 kg, so here it is in hanging condition, its gravitational force, it is downward directions, that is mg, and it is hanging condition, so there will be a tension in the upward direction. For the second part, B, calculate the tension in the string. To find out the tension in the string, we can concentrate on the 4 kg block. So here since it is in equilibrium condition, we can say summation of F equal to 0. Summation of F, net force exerted in the system, it is 0, which means the tension T minus mg, that should be 0. From there we can say T equal to mg, which is 4 times g is 10, so we can consider that is 40 Newton. For the third part, C, calculate the force constant of the spring. Force constant of the spring. To find out the force constant, we can focus on 8 kg block. On the 8 kg block, we can consider that net force, it is also 0. Let's say that our coordinate system x and this is our y axis, so along the horizontal direction, the net force that should be 0. So from there we can say the tension which is produced in the spring string, that should be same as the force, restoring force developed in the spring. And restoring force, it can be represented as negative of k into x. We can take mod of that, and that is equal to the tension. From there we can say that x equal to its tension upon k, but we have to find out the spring constant. So instead of the x, we can say k equal to t upon x. Now the t which is produced here, that we have computed, that is 40 Newton. So it's 40 upon 0.05, that is 800 Newton per meter. In the fourth part, D, calculate the time taken by the 4 kg block to hit the floor. It is at the height 0.7 meter above the ground. So here what we can do, initially we can consider its final initial velocity in the vertical direction, that should be 0, and after that this height traveled, that is 0.7 meter. So here we can apply the equation of kinematics, that is equal to S equal to initial velocity into time t plus half into acceleration into t square. Presently S means it's represented by h, initial velocity it is 0, half into acceleration, that is equal to same as the gravitational acceleration, it is g into t square. From there we can say t equal to square root of 2h by g. Here we are getting 0.377 seconds. So this is for the part D. Now in the part E, calculate the maximum speed attained by the 8 kg block as it oscillates back and forth. So here we can apply the 8 kg block when it is fully elongated condition, that is represented by x equal to 0.05 meter. From here, whenever it will be passing through its mean position, in that case it will be having the maximum velocity. So we can apply the conservation of energy. According to the conservation of energy, we can consider here this will be the maximum position. So total energy at the mean position, that will be the total energy at the extreme position. Since at the total energy it consists of kinetic energy and spring potential energy in the block spring system, that will be same as the at the mean position, and that will be same as the kinetic energy plus spring potential energy at the extreme position. Now at the extreme position, kinetic energy it would be 0 because it is in rest conditions, and at the mean position spring potential energy should be 0 since the elongations it is equal to 0. Now kinetic energy you can say half into m into v squared, and that is equal to half into k into x squared. To compute the maximum speed v, we have to do k upon m, square root of that into x. Here we are getting 0.5 meter per second, that's the maximum velocity.